8051 microcontroller instruction set. In that, we can see about the data processing instructions. Outline of this lecture will be the introduction to the 8051 microcontroller instruction set and something review about the flags and internal memory organization of 8051 and also the details of data processing instructions which include arithmetic and logical instructions. First, let us discuss about the introduction of 8051 microcontroller. Microcontroller 8051 is a 8-bit microcontroller which can perform 8-bit operations. To perform the operations, we have to give some commands to that one. So that command is called as the instruction. So the basic definition, as we know already, so instruction is nothing but a command which is used to perform a specific task. So in the instruction format in 8051 contains opcode as well as operand. So operand is following the opcode. So first part of the instruction is opcode. It contains the mnemonic. Mnemonic is nothing but the operational code which specifies the type of operation to be performed. So the operation to be performed is indicated by the mnemonic, which is the operational code, which is called as opcode in short. All mnemonics are of 1 byte of size. So all the instructions minimum they will have the 1 byte size. The next part of the instruction is the operand. The operand defines the data being processed by the instruction. So the data may be available as the immediate data value or in the CPU registers or in the direct memory address or in the indirect memory. So direct and indirect memory address, that means the address of the data may be given in the instruction directly or indirectly that refers the data. Then the types of instruction set of 8051 microcontroller can be classified into 3 types. One is data processing instructions, second one is data transfer instructions, third one is program flow instructions. Data processing instructions consists of arithmetic and logic instructions. Data transfer instruction is nothing but moving or copying instructions. Program flow instructions are nothing but branching instructions. So in this lecture, we'll see the details about the data processing instructions. What are all the instructions available in arithmetic and logical operations only. Before going into the details of arithmetic and logic, let us discuss about the overall view of 8051 instruction set. The 8051 8-bit microcontroller has 8 data lines. So 2 power 8 is 256. So maximum of 256 instructions are possible in 8051 microcontroller. These 256 possible instructions are grouped under 49 mnemonics. So these mnemonics are the opcodes or which are the keywords. So among the 49 mnemonics, all the instructions are comprised. So these 49 mnemonics are groups under different categories. That is 3 categories: data transfer, data processing and branching. So in data transfer, there are 7 mnemonics. In data processing, there are 8 plus 10 plus 11. So 18 plus 11, so it is 29 instructions in data processing instruction. In the branching, there are 13 instructions. So these are the 49 mnemonics. In this lecture, we will discuss about the data processing, that is arithmetic and logic. Actually, in the arithmetic and logic instructions, along with that one, we have shown with the Boolean set of instructions. Boolean set of instructions, we can classify again into 2 groups here because few instructions falls under logic group and few instructions falls under branching group. So which falls under logic group can be discussed now. Okay. So before studying the instructions, let us review about the flags and the internal memory organization of 8051 microcontroller. The flags present in the program status word of 8051 microcontroller. There are 4 math flags. That one only we are going to discuss about. The first one is the carry flag. The carry bit which exits out of B7. So B0 to B7 we can see. So the carry, if there is a carry out of bit 7, then the carry flag will be set to 1. So the status of the program status word can be obtained by looking into the B0 to B7. B7 represents the carry bit. If the carry bit is 1, that means that there is a carry out of bit 7. Then auxiliary carry. If there exists a carry out of bit 3, which is represented in the bit 6, B6, that is the 7th bit, auxiliary carry AC. This auxiliary carry will be very much used in the BCD operations. The next math flag is the overflow flag. The overflow flag bit is expressed in the program status word by bit 2, B2, by OV. Here, OV or overflow flag will be set to 1 if there is a carry out of bit 7 XOR carry out of bit 6 is 1. That means carry out of bit 7 XOR carry out of bit 6. If there exists a carry, not only from the bit 7, we have to check bit 6 also. Then we have to XOR this one. If there is only one carry, then we will be getting the overflow flag. This overflow flag is used to identify the data is whether the data, the resultant data is exceeding the limit or not. The last math flag is parity. This parity flag is denoted in the program status word in bit 0. If the number of ones in the resultant data is odd, then odd bit is called as the odd parity. That time parity flag will be set to 1. So these are all the 4 math flags. In our instructions, arithmetic and logic instructions, all the resultant data will affect the parity flag. Since all the instructions affect parity flag, we are not going to give much care about the parity flag, because based on the output obtained, immediately the parity flag will be set to 1 or 0. So here we are worrying about carry, auxiliary carry and overflow flag. Coming to the next, the internal memory organization, because we are going to perform some operations, some data to be stored, some operations to be executed based on the need we want, what the operation we want to perform. So we need some place to do. So where we want to store the data, that is the memory. As we know, 8051 is having some internal memory, that is 128 bytes internal RAM and 4 kilobytes internal ROM. So 128 bytes internal RAM, this is the user data memory, and 4 kilobytes internal ROM, that is the read only memory, where you can store the program code bytes. In internal RAM, where you can store your data, you can operate with that one. How it is organized, if we know the memory organization, then it is easy to follow. So here only we are going to write the instruction. Here we are going to give the data and we'll call back the instruction and we'll execute and get the result. So just recall the 8051 internal memory organization. Internal memory is divided into 2, RAM and ROM. So ROM is having 4 kilobytes and RAM is having 128 bytes. These 128 bytes RAM is split into 3 parts. The first one is the register bank area, which is of 32 bytes. That is the denoted by the byte address 00 to 1F. And there are 4 register banks which are indicated by B0 to B3. In each register bank, there are 8 registers which are called as R0 to R7, R0, R1, R2 up to R7. Like that, 4 register banks have 8 registers. So totally 32 registers are available. These 32 registers are general purpose registers. Then the second part of internal RAM is bit addressable area. It is 16 byte. The byte address is from 20 to 2F. Just you can see here we have left 00 to 1F. The next memory location is 20. So 20 to 2F is the byte address. In this one, each bit can be addressed. That's why it is given as the bit addressable area. The address of the each bit will be from 00 to FF. This is the bit address area. Each bit is called as addressable bit. This one we will be using when we do the logical operations, or we can say the Boolean operations. So we have to remember about the bit addressable area. The third one is the general purpose area. That is the next location address. Just you can see 30 to 7F. So 00 to 7F is the 128 bytes internal RAM. Just have a look about the internal memory organization. These three are the internal RAM. The first one is the register bank area, register bank 0, 1, 2, and 3. So R0 to R7, again the name starts with R0 to R7. Again R0 to R7 in register bank 2. Again R0 to R7 in register bank 3. The next one is the bit addressable area. The just we can see the byte address is 20 to 2F, but in each byte we have 8 bits, 00 to 07. For example, this is the bit address. So this 00 represents in the byte address 20 the first bit, that is the bit address. This is the bit addressable area. The third part is the general purpose area, 80 bytes where we can use for giving the data, storing the data. Then this is the internal read-only memory where we can store the code, program code bytes. The memory size is 4 kilobytes, and so the address we will be getting from 000 to FFF. Now come to the instructions, data processing instructions of 8051 microcontroller. So data processing means we can do the processing. What type of processing we can do? We can do arithmetic operations as well as logical operations. So what are all the arithmetic operations we can perform in 8051? So it comes under your data processing. In arithmetic instructions available in your 8051, there are 8 mnemonics. With the 8 mnemonics, we can form 24 instructions. So 8 mnemonics, and we can form 24 mnemonics with that one. And these instructions affect all the math flags. So we can call that one as that math flags as arithmetic flags also. So they are carry, auxiliary carry, overflow, and parity. And what are the operations we can perform in arithmetic instructions? That is addition, subtraction, integer multiplication, integer division, decimal arithmetic, then increment and decrement. So these are all the 7 operations we can perform. So here we can see in addition operation there are we have 2 mnemonics, add and add C, which is called as the opcode or operational code or mnemonic. Add and add C. These 2 are the mnemonics in for addition operation. For subtraction, we have SUBB, sub B. That is the subtraction mnemonic. So all other operations except addition, they have only 1 mnemonic. Integer multiplication, we have MUL. Integer division, we have DIV. Decimal arithmetic, it is DA. Increment, INC. Decrement, DEC. Just we can go with the details of these instructions. First, let us go with the addition operation. So addition, we had 2 opcodes, add and add C. What is the syntax of add? Add space destination comma source. Here ADD add is the opcode, destination comma source is the operand. So this instruction uses 2 operands. So the meaning is add source to the destination. What can be the destination and what can be the source? Always the destination can be only the accumulator, because 8051 have, apart from CPU registers, apart from register bank registers, CPU has A and B registers. So here the destination is accumulator. Then what can be the source operand? Source operand can be Either it can be a immediate data byte, or it can be a direct memory address, or it can be a register bank register, or it can be a address which is pointed by the pointing register. So just we can remember the source operands clearly. It can be a immediate data, or it can be a direct memory address, or it can be a register R0 to R7 in the register bank, or it can be a address pointed by the pointing register. What is the meaning of pointing register here? Pointing register can be mentioned as or shown as R suffix P, which is nothing but R0 or R1. No other register can act as pointing register. Only R0 and R1 can act as pointing register. So if we are using the R suffix P, that means either we have to use R0 or R1. So at indicates that in R0 or R1, there is a value that shows the address. For example, add a comma at R0. R0 is having 40. Then add a comma at R0 indicates that R0 is having 40. 40 is the address. The content of 40 will be added with the accumulator content and the result will be stored. So at indicates the indirect way of addressing. So the first one we can see add a hash the data byte. The data byte is the 8-bit data. So immediately add the data to the accumulator content. Add a comma add. Directly add the contents of the address to A. So ADD is nothing but the direct memory address. So for example, add a comma 40. Add a comma 40. So 40 is the memory address. Just you can recall the internal RAM organization. 40 will be the internal memory. So in that 40, if you have some data, that data will be added with the accumulator content and the result will be stored in the accumulator content. In the same way, the third one is add a comma R suffix R. This is nothing but the register bank registers, that is R0 to R7. RR is nothing but R0 to R7. So here add a comma R7, let it be. Add a comma R7. That means the contents of R7 is added with the accumulator and the result is stored in the accumulator. That is the meaning. So here we had 4 instructions in the first mnemonic. Add a comma hash data byte, that is 8-bit data is directly given in the instruction itself. So add a comma hash 50. Here 50 is the data. This 50 will be added to the contents of accumulator. So we have 4 instructions for ADD mnemonic. The same way, here we will have the ADD-C instruction. That means add source to destination with the carry bit. So content of carry will be added after adding the contents of the source operand and the accumulator. Along with carry is added. Just you see, add C a comma hash that data byte. Add the immediate 8-bit data and the carry flag to the accumulator content and the result is stored in the accumulator. Here add C a comma add. That this ADD represents the address, direct memory address, internal RAM address. For example, ADDC a comma 50. The contents of 50 is added with the contents of carry flag and is added with the contents of accumulator. So here carry is a single bit. So the contents of address plus carry bit plus accumulator content, that you will be getting the sum. Coming to the third instruction in the second mnemonic, ADDC a comma R suffix R. Add the contents of the register bank register. So RR, it can be R0 to R7 and the C flag to A, and the result will be stored in the accumulator. Coming to the fourth instruction, add C, A, comma, at RP. Here, at RP, RP represents the pointing register. It can be R0 or R1. For example, add C, A, comma, at R1. So R1 is 50. So just consider add C, A, comma, at R1. R1 is having 50. So the meaning is the content of R1 is 50. 50 is showing the address. So the content of 50 will be added with the accumulator along with carry. So here we have seen the 8 instructions. After executing all these instructions, the sum, that is the result of addition, will be stored in the accumulator. That's why we have got everywhere A for your destination operand. So sum is stored in the accumulator. So what are all the flags affected for this addition operation? Carry, auxiliary carry, and overflow. Always remember here the parity flag also will be affected, but it is not specially mentioned anywhere. We have to remember in mind that parity is also affected for all the instructions. So flags affected: carry, auxiliary carry, and overflow flag. Coming to the next operation of arithmetic instructions, that is subtraction. So sub B, destination, comma, source. Here also, just like addition, ADD mnemonic, we had SUBB. Only the difference you can see in the keyword, that is the mnemonic, SUBB. So source operand are similar. Destination operand is also same. It is only the accumulator. And source operand can be among the four anyone. One is immediate data, another one is direct memory address, another one is R0 to R7 registers available in the register bank. Then next is the pointing register, the address which is pointed by the pointing register. Okay. So first we can go with the first instruction, SUBB space A, comma, hash 8-bit data. Here subtract the immediate 8-bit data and the carry flag from A. So here we have to perform along with carry from the accumulator, and the difference is stored in the accumulator. Whenever we do the subtraction, the carry flag is considered as the borrow flag, but which is not called as borrow flag, but only it is considered as borrow flag. The next one is SUBB A, comma, add. This ADD represents the address. Subtract the contents of address and the carry flag from the accumulator. So here we have to remember that the accumulator contains the minuend and the source operand. They are the subtrahend. Minuend is present in the accumulator because you are subtracting from the accumulator contents. So coming to the next one, SUBB A, comma, RR. For example, SUBB A, comma, R3. A is having some 05. R3 is having 02. That means 03 minus 02 and the carry. Carry is 00 means 05 minus 02 minus 0. So you will be getting 02 or 03 based on your R3 content. So 05 is accumulator content, 02 is R3 content, since 05 minus 02 is 03. But the carry is 1, 05, 03 minus 1. So you will be getting only 1. So here all the subtraction instructions use the carry flag. So subtraction is performed along with the carry. The last instruction, SUBB A, comma, at RP. Here subtract the contents of address in RP. So RP is the pointing register. Only R0 and R1 can be the pointing registers. Subtract the contents of the address in RP. So R0 and R1 holds the address, not the data. Let it be SUBB A, at R0. So R0 is holding 40. That means 40 is the address. So the memory address 40, what is the content available? That has to be subtracted from A, as well as the carry bit has to be subtracted from A. That is the meaning of this instruction. So after execution of this instruction, the result, that is the difference, will be stored in the accumulator. And flags affected as usual, carry, auxiliary carry and overflow flags will be affected. Also the parity flag. Coming to the next operation, it is multiplication. Here we have to note the instruction is written like MUL space AB. It is not A comma B, AB together. Mul space AB. MUL is the mnemonic for the multiplication operation. AB is the operand, because we usually follow the operand comma another operand. But here there is no comma for multiplication. So the meaning is multiply A by B. Here we can in 8051 microcontroller can perform only integer multiplication. So unsigned integer can be stored in the accumulator, and in the same way unsigned integer which is acting as a multiplier can be stored in the B register, which is nothing but a CPU register. Now after executing this instruction, the contents of A and contents of B are multiplied, and the lower byte of product will be stored in the accumulator and higher byte of product will be stored in the B register. For example, the accumulator is having FF. B register is also having FF. So product of FF is FF multiplied by FF is FE01. So 0 and 1 is the lower byte of product. FE is the higher byte of product. So after executing MUL AB, that is MUL AB instruction, lower byte of the product, that is 01 will be stored in the accumulator. Higher byte of the product, that is FE, will be stored in the B register. This is the result of FF multiplied by FF. So here the flags affected, just we can have a note, the carry flag will be reset. That means C is equal to 0. Then reset to 0, or it can be called as the cleared. Okay, C equal to 0. And only overflow flag will be affected in the multiplication instruction. Coming to the next instruction, that is div space AB. Just like multiplication, here also we use the operands without comma. Div is the mnemonic space AB. The meaning is divide A by B. So here the dividend is stored in the accumulator and the divisor is stored in the B register. Here also we are going to perform only the integer division. So unsigned integer is the dividend value is stored in the accumulator, and also the unsigned integer which is acting as a divisor is stored in the B register. So after executing this instruction, div space AB, the dividend divided by divisor. So we will be getting quotient and remainder. The quotient will be stored in the accumulator. So the integer part of quotient will be stored in the accumulator and the integer part of remainder will be stored in the B register. So just like the multiplication operation, here the flags affected will be the overflow flag and the carry flag will be set to 0. So multiplication and division are almost same, only the difference in the operation. The decimal arithmetic instruction, here we had only one mnemonic, DA, that is DA, first two letters, then space, there exists a space here, DA space A, decimal adjust space, the contents of accumulator. Here the meaning is adjust the sum of two packed BCD numbers found in A register. So first we have to understand that what is the content of accumulator, because we can adjust the content only in accumulator. So the data which is present in the accumulator can be adjusted for BCD. So it is not the meaning that if we have performed the hexadecimal addition, after that we cannot go for the BCD conversion. It is not the BCD conversion. It is just adjusting. That means the accumulator content is considered as the already two BCD numbers are added and is stored, and is we are going to just adjust that one into a perfect BCD number. So it is not for BCD conversion. So decimal adjust space accumulator. Only the accumulator content can be adjusted for BCD. So here accumulator content is noted as already the BCD numbers are added by using add instruction or add C instruction. So two BCD numbers have been added already by add or add C instruction, and the result is stored in the accumulator content. So here, if the carry bit is set or the bit 0 to bit 3, that is the lower nibble, exceeds 9, then 06 is added. This is the actual operation of decimal adjust, DA. Actual operation is if the carry bit is set after two BCD numbers are added or the lower nibble exceeds 9. If there exists any one condition, either carry bit is set or the lower nibble exceeds 9, then if we use DA space A, that means the 06 will be automatically added in order to adjust the number into a packed BCD. So after execution of this DA space A, the adjusted packed BCD number, that is the result, will be stored in the accumulator, and here the flags affected will be only the carry. Then the next set of instruction is the increment, which perform incrementing INC destination. So here increment means it is incrementing the destination by 1. So INC space A. So here A is the destination. So A is the accumulator. Add 1 to the A register. So the contents of accumulator is added by 1. INC space ADD. This is the address. So the content of the direct memory address is added by 1. Next, INC space R suffix R. This is the register bank registers R0 to R7. So add 1 to the registers. For example, INC R6. So the content of R6 is 50. Then INC R6 indicates that 50 is incremented to 51. Next, INC at RP. Add a 1 to the contents of address in the pointing register. So already we have studied RP is the pointing register. It can be either R0 or R1. So for example, INC at R1 means R1 holds 40. 40 is having, let it be 23. 23 is the actual data. So the 23 will be incremented as 24. So increment at RP. So add 1 to the contents of address in RP. The address is indicated by the pointing register. Next, coming to the last instruction, increment DPTR. DPTR is the data pointer, which is a 16-bit register in 8051 microcontroller. Here in the data pointer, one is added by using increment DPTR. Actually, DPTR is a 16-bit register which is present as a two 8-bit registers, DPL and DPH. So when we use increment DPTR, actually we are doing incrementing in the DPL, data pointer lower byte, data pointer higher byte, DPL and DPH. So DPL only will be incremented. But if there exists a carry, then DPH will be incremented. So INC DPTR means add a 1 to the 16-bit DPTR. So there are actually 5 destinations for increment operation: INCA, INC address, INC register, INC at RP, and INC DPTR. Similar to the increment, we will get the decrement instructions, but we can see one is missing, that is decrement DPTR. There is no decrement DPTR instruction. Only we can increment the DPTR, but we cannot decrement the DPTR directly. So in that case, suppose we want to decrement the DPTR, what we can do? Just let us see. Here you see, DEC A means subtract a 1 from the A register. DEC address means subtract a 1 from the direct memory address. So DPTR is having the internal memory address. So directly you can write here the address of the DPTR, DPL or DPH, which we want to decrement. By that way, that is the indirect way, we can decrement the DPTR. But there is no direct decrementing instruction for DPTR. Then decrement RR, that means the content of the registers R0 to R7 can be decremented by 1. The next instruction is decrement at RP. See, for example, decrement at R0. R0 is having 40. 40 is having 23. So decrement at R0. So R0 is having 40. 40 represents the address. So 40 is having the 23. 23 is the data. That will be decremented by 1. So it will be 22. So in the decrement operation, we can have only 4 set of instructions based on the destination. So we are not having decrement DPTR, but instead we can perform the same operation by using DEC address. That means directly we can use the DPL, data pointer lower byte address, or data pointer higher byte address, but we cannot go with decrement DPTR instruction. So these are all about the arithmetic instructions. Just we can see this is the add mnemonic, this is the ADC mnemonic, then SUBB mnemonic, then mul, div, then increment, then decrement, and decimal adjust. So there are totally 24 arithmetic instructions. Just we can have a look. For add and subtraction instructions, all carry, overflow, arithmetic carry, sorry. Just to have a look, the arithmetic instructions summary. The first ADD mnemonic, we can see all the math flags: carry, overflow flag, OV, auxiliary carry. All the flags are affected. In the same way, ADDC, all the math flags. then SUBB, all the math flags are affected. But coming to multiplication and division instruction, only overflow flag is affected and carry flag is set to 0. For all other incrementing and decrementing, no flags are affected. Coming to decimal adjust, only the carry flag is affected. Here coming to the bytes of spent for the particular instruction. Here for every opcode, we know it took 1 byte. Then if we have to have the immediate data, then 1 more byte. And if we want to include the direct address, that is the ADD, 1 more byte. So wherever we had the immediate data and the direct memory address, we will get as 2 bytes. Just we can have a look, add a comma direct memory address. So this address we have to give either as 40 or 50, 60. So we will get 2 byte because for the mnemonic itself 1 byte. For this direct memory address or the immediate data, 1 more byte. So we will get totally 2 bytes. So same thing here also. Coming to mul AB, here there is no other byte record for the extra data byte or the direct memory address. Like the same up to this one, so it will be only 1 byte. Coming to this one, increment address. So for this direct memory address, we need 1 byte. So already INC have 1 byte. So 1 plus 1, 2 byte. The same way decrement address. So it will be having 2 byte. So totally we have seen the 24 instructions in the arithmetic group of 8051 instructions. Coming to the next major group of 8051 8-bit microcontroller instruction set, that is the logic instructions. There are 16 mnemonics. Among the 16 mnemonics, we can have many instructions. They are all 37. So these 16 mnemonics can be grouped under 3 categories. One is byte level instructions. Second one is the bit level instructions. Third one is rotate and swap instruction. First one is byte level instruction. In the byte level instruction, we had the 5 mnemonics, that is ANL, ORL, XRL, CPL and CLR are the mnemonics. In bit level, we had 6. In rotate and swap, we had 5 mnemonics. In the byte level instructions, they operate all the 8 bits together. All the 8 bits we are going to perform the logical operations. Bit level, here the logical operation is performed for only 1 bit. Then rotate and swap, here as the name indicate, the bits are rotated. Coming to the first one, byte level. So byte level, the first instruction is the ANL destination comma source. The meaning is AND each bit. Each bit represents all the 8 bits must be ANDed together. Then ORL destination comma source, that is logical OR all the 8 bits. That is source bits will be logically ANDed with the destination bits and the result is stored in the destination. What can be the destination? That we have to see. Then XRL destination comma source. Here the first one is logical AND, second one is logical OR, the third one is logical XOR. Then fourth one is complement. Fifth one is clear. Here all these 5 mnemonics use the destination as the accumulator, and just we can see the first one, the ANL destination comma source. Just we can have a look, and each bit of source with the same bit of destination. So bit 0 to bit 7 present in source operand, the destination is the accumulator. Then there also bit 0 to bit 7, then bit 0 of source and bit 0 of destination will be logically ANDed. So just you can see the source operand as we have studied in the arithmetic operation, same 4 sets, immediate data byte, direct memory address, register bank registers and the pointing register. Then ANL represents the logical AND A comma hash data byte. For example, here I have shown actually the ANL A comma R3. Here I have taken the example. that is executed. Before execution, just consider that A is having F0, R3 is having AA. That is logically AND. To indicate, to understand only, it is indicated with the binary value, but it will be stored as the hexadecimal only. So 11110000, this is present in accumulator. 10101010, this is present in the R3. These two are ANDed. So when we AND, what we have got? 1, next bit is 0, again 1, 0, then all these bits are 0. So we have got the result as A0. This is the normal bit by bit AND. So all the 8 bits are ANDed. This is the ANL operation. Here all the 8 bits are logically ANDed. That's why it is called as the byte level operation. Coming to the next one, logical OR. In the same way, consider the same thing. F0, R3 is having AA. So if we perform logical OR, what we have got? The result is FA. So just here you can see the destination can be either accumulator or the address. So the destination of logical AND, logical OR and logical XOR, for these 3 instructions, it can be either accumulator or the direct memory address. The operand, the source operand can be immediate data byte, direct address, or R0 to R7 or the pointing register. Coming to the next group, that is the XRL space destination comma source. Here the logical XOR, we are performing the logical XOR of each bit of A with the same bit of immediate data. Here it is XRL A comma hash data byte. XRL A comma direct address means XOR each bit of A with the same bit of contents of direct memory address. So here also you see A F0, R3 is AA. So just you can have a look. XOR 1 1 XOR it is 0, 1 0 it is 1. So the resultant is 5A. Just perform bitwise XOR operation. All the 8 bits are XOR. That's why it is called as byte level. Here we can see we can perform XORL add comma hash data byte. This is the address which indicates that address, direct memory address can also act like the destination for these 3 instructions, that is ANL, ORL and XRL. The 2 destinations are used, accumulator as well as the direct memory address. Coming to the next one, the logical instructions byte level, we had the complement and clear. The complement is CPL. Here we can have only one destination, that is accumulator. For clear also we can have only one destination, that is the accumulator. Complement is the content of accumulator is complemented. 1 will be changed 0, 0 will be complemented to 1 to 0, 0 to 1. So 1 as 0, 0 as 1. Just you can see A is F0 means the after execution we will be getting A as 0F. Clear destination means here destination is only the accumulator. Before execution, whatever the content of accumulator we have, it will be modified to 0, 0. All the 8 bits will be modified to 0. That is clear A. So this is the byte level instructions we have studied. Next is the bit level instruction. There are 6 mnemonics. Just we can see logical AND, logical OR, then complement, clear, then set bit, then move. That is the copying bit. Here we have only 2 bits. We are going to use either carry bit or addressable bit. So just recall what is the addressable bit. In the internal RAM organization, we have seen from the byte address 20 to 2F is the bit addressable area, which can be addressed from 00 to 7F. So that is the addressable bit. Small b represents the addressable bit. ANL C, B or complement of B. That means logically you can add these 2 bits. It is the 1 bit operation. This is also 1 bit operation. So the bit operation here, coming to the bit level, and ANL destination comma source and carry flag with the addressed bit. So ANL C B, or we can have ANL C B bar. That means complement of B. So for example, carry is having 0. B is 1, that is before execution. So after execution, 0 and 1 will be logically AND. So we will be getting 0. Here, before execution, C is equal to 0 and B is equal to 1. So here B1, B bar is 1 becomes 0. 0, 0, again you will be getting 0. In the same way, we can perform logical OR. Here it is also a bitwise operation. So OR carry flag bit with the addressable bit. So whatever we have C in the carry flag bit, it will be logically ORed with the addressable bit. It is a 1 byte operation. Coming to the next one, it is complement. So here the destination can be either the carry flag or the addressable bit. CPL, CP indicates logically complement. So complement the carry flag bit or logically complement the addressable bit. So C is equal to 0 means it will be complemented to 1. If B equal to 1 means after execution we will be getting 0. In the same way, clear destination. So whatever may be the content of carry flag before, that will be changed to 0. Here clear B indicates that the addressable bit, that will be changed to 0. Clear indicates that after executing the instruction it will be changed to 0. The next one is the set B. Set means it is setting to 1. Set B destination. Again here destination in the bit operations indicates the carry flag or addressable bit. Clear represents 0, set represents 1. So carry flag, if we want to set to 1, then we have to use set B, C. If we want to change the addressable bit to 1, then we have to use set B, small b. Coming to move destination comma source. Here it is not a byte-wise operation, it is the bit operation. Move C comma B, small b. It is the copying instruction only. So source operand is B. From B, it is copied to the carry flag. Here, the source operand is carry flag. From there, it is copied to B, that is the addressable bit. So, for example, before execution, we have Z0 and B is equal to 1. So, B is copied to C. So, B will not be changed. B will be having 1. Carry flag alone will be changed to 1 for move C comma B instruction. In the same way, for move B comma C, it will be C is equal to 0 and B equal to 1 before execution, means after execution C will be copied to B. So it will be C is equal to 0 and B equal to 0. Here we can see C will not be changed after execution, just it will be copied. Move represents only copying the data. Next one is the rotate and swap. That is the third set of logical instructions. Actually, this rotate and swap instructions are used for inspecting the bits of a byte. Byte means 8 bits. In this 8 bits, if you want to inspect, check any bit, then you can use this rotate instructions. Actually, there are only 5 mnemonics. With these 5 mnemonics, we can form only 5 instructions. So here operand is only the accumulator, no other operand can be used, and flags are not affected unless carry flags is used as a part of a mnemonic. In the mnemonic itself we have used the carry flag, then it will be affected, otherwise it will not be affected. Then we can go for 8 bits or 9 bits rotation and left and right rotation or nibble rotation. 3 types of rotations are there: 8-bit rotation or 9-bit rotation, left and right rotation and nibble rotation. So what are all the 5 mnemonics? RL space A, then RLC space A, then RR space A, RC space A, then swap space A. Coming to the first mnemonic, RL space destination. So destination we know it can be only the accumulator. Rotate the contents of A register 1 bit position to the left. Rotate the content of A register by 1 bit position to the left. So bit 0 to bit 7, left 1 bit. So before execution, if you are having A equal to F0, so here what will happen? After execution, it will be shifted here. So you will be getting 1 0 0 0 1 1 1. That means we will be getting E1, that is the rotate left. In the same way, RLC space destination. So destination can be only the accumulator. Here RLC, C is there. That means the mnemonic itself, it has the carry. So we have to use the carry flag bit as the 9th bit. The previous one is the 8-bit rotation and this one is the 9th bit rotation. So along with carry, it is rotated. Just we can see B0 is moved to B1, B1 to B2. In same way, B6 to B7, B7 to carry to B0. So the carry bit will be, after rotation, it will be changed to the LSB. So just we can see before execution, we had F0, carry is 0. Then after execution, just we can see after execution, it will be changed to E0. So carry is equal to 1. Just we can have a look once again. Here B0 to B7 is 11 11 00 00. Carry is 0. Here carry is 0. It is shifted. So this 0 will be coming to B0. So after execution, just you can see this is 0. This B7 will be moved to C. So just you can see this B7, it is moved to carry flag. This is the rotate left through carry. So carry flag is included as a 9th bit for rotation. So this is a 8-bit rotation. This is a 9-bit rotation in the left side. Coming to the next one, this is the same like left. Here we are going to move in the right side. So this is RR space destination. Destination can be only one, that is the accumulator. Here RRC space destination, that is rotate right through carry. The destination can be only the accumulator. So this is a 8-bit rotation. This is a 9th bit rotation. Rotate right without carry. This is through carry. So just have a look. Before execution, A is F0. Right rotation we are going to do. So B7 will be moved to B6. B0 will be moved to B7. So B0 will be coming to, just you can see B0 is B7. Then it is shifted. So we have got 7 8. Now coming to RRC, B0 is moved to carry flag. So after execution of this one, just we can have a look. Before execution, carry is 1. But here B0 is 0. So this B0 will be moved to C. So C will be 0 0. Then B1 will be shifted to B0. And this carry will be shifted to B7. So we have got for A equal to F0, A you will be getting as F8. Coming to the next set of instruction, that is swap. Swap space destination. This means it is the interchanging nibbles. Swap indicates interchange. Nibble means 4-bit. So in your 8-bit data, we had B0 to B3, it is 1 nibble, which is called as the lower nibble. B4 to B7, it is the 4 bits, which is called as the upper nibble. These 4 bits are interchanged. So B0 to B3 will go to B4 to B7. B4 to B7 will move to B0 to B3. This is called as interchange nibbles. It is nothing but actually 4-bit rotation. 4-bit you are moving in either direction, either left or right. Just you can have a look. Before execution, A is F0. That is 11 11 00 00. After doing swap, that is you will be getting A is equal to 0F. So swap, you can do only the contents of accumulator. Just we can go with the summary of logic instructions. The first table which shows the blue mark, which indicates the byte level instructions, logical AND, logical OR, logical XOR, clear and complement. So just you can see logical AND, the destination can be either accumulator or address. In logical OR also either accumulator or address. In logical XOR also the destination can be accumulator or address. Then complement and clear, we will have only the destination accumulator. All these blue color instructions are the byte level logical instructions. So here, as we said earlier, we know for each opcode or mnemonic, we have to have one. We will be having 1 byte. For address or the data, we will have 2. Coming to the 5th instruction, just you can have a look. ANL, add comma immediate data. So here we have to store the mnemonic as 1 byte. For address, direct memory address 1 byte, the immediate 8-bit data, that is 1 byte. So we had 3 bytes. So it is a 3-byte instruction. So just like that, ORL address comma hash data byte. In the same way, the 17th instruction XRL add comma hash data. This is also a 3-byte instruction. All these we can see no flags are affected. Coming to the next one, rotate and swap. Just we can see only in RLC and RRC we had C in the mnemonic. So only carry flag is affected. And all these are all 1 byte instruction. No other flags are affected. Coming to the last column, that is the bit level instructions: clear, set, complement, logical and logical OR, and copying instructions. Here, if we have to indicate the addressable bit, then it needs 1 more byte. For mnemonic, 1 byte. So we will be getting 2 bytes. All other instructions will be having only 1 byte. So if we have got C, that is the carry bit in the instruction, then the carry will be affected. Since it is set B C, so carry will be set to 1. Clear C, here the carry will be set to 0. So C will be 0. Here it is 1. Then CPLC, carry flag will be affected. Then ANL C comma B, because in the instruction itself C is there, carry flag is there. So the carry flag will be affected. So in the instruction, if addressable bit B is there, then all the instruction will be 2-byte instruction. In the instruction we have C, then the carry flag is